about the bank earnings, of course, but let's kick it off with Palantir and an upgrade from Mizuho, calling it stunning momentum. Let's hear more about that.
I mean, it has. You can't argue that with.
I mean, you've had Dan Ives on, who came on here and talked about how great this stock really could be. He called it again and again, and it's up over 400% in 1 year. But that stunning momentum, and they talked about a reversion and a reevaluation. Can they grow revenue again? I think it would be for the fifth quarter in a row. They certainly have a lot of contracts and things that they're working with. I mean, it's pretty stunning to see this name. But, it does make people, when something runs up so far, so fast, you start to say, do I need to take a step back? And that's sort of the caution that Mizuho is giving us, right? Banks, we had Goldman Sachs. We'll kick it off with that. I saw profits surging there. That one's trying to hold on to an up arrow today.
Yeah, look, they had a big beat on both the top and bottom.
$, and it is now at 14. And now halted again. So it's going to be a very busy one here. Morgan Stanley also in focus, folks. I mean, that one also saw profit on the rise, I thought there.
Yes, so Morgan Stanley beating expectations across the board.
Right now we're seeing Morgan Stanley down, Goldman, Bank of America, PNC higher. Yesterday we heard from a few, mostly good news. BlackRock had one big investor pull out from the index funds to the tune of about $52 billion. So that was something that was a little off. But for the big picture here, you want to have a final thought maybe on these banks or Morgan Stanley?
Of course. I mean, I think the context.
Look at United. What are people focusing on here?
Well, the stock up 1.7% this morning ahead of the.
Premium passengers are paying up. To your point, you mentioned that about the Delta report. So that is certainly a bright spot. And how many premium passengers, does Delta have versus United and JetBlue and Southwest? Because if that's going to be the buoy for the group, Delta is certainly a big one. I mean, if you had counted the number of premium passengers, maybe Delta has the most. So that, I don't know. I mean, but you need the folks that have the socioeconomic bracket to keep it boosted.
And potentially even
with us here as we talk about the overall market, which started in the red, went in the green, and now we've already seen some back and forth action, but we're picking up some momentum. Marley, some of your thoughts there, as we're not back above 6,300 on the S&P, but we did have a record close for the NASDAQ yesterday.
I think, Nicole, a lot of it's just this
when we talked to John Kozar of Asbury 6, and all 6 indicators were still showing positive momentum for the stock, particularly for inflows into ETFs of utilities, industrials, technology, materials. So there was some positivity there. But yes, we're very much in a headline-driven market, a wait-and-see market. In the meantime, Marley, we're looking at specific names. You're looking quickly at Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson & Johnson shares up about.
So take a look on a name in the news, Global Payments. We have some Elliott Management news there.
Yeah, that's right, off the back of the Financial Times.
Prologis, Omnicom, EQT are the best performers in the S&P 500 right now. Thank you both, Sam Vadas, Marley Caden. Good to see with me. Let's start off with Taiwan Semi. Olivier, some of your thoughts on Taiwan Semi. Do you think it still has room to move to the upside, Olivier, quickly?
I think so, yeah.
Incredible bounce back. I mean, it's up 50% or more off the lows.
76%.
I'll say 3 months it says 52%, but off those lows it's had an incredible run. New highs at 238. Weird, because you said it often dips on the earnings. Let's get to the financials. I mean, what stood out to you, Jay, on the financials thus far? We've already had at least 6 names report.
Financials crush.
I don't know if you had any thoughts on the banks, but I also wanted to ask you about Qualcomm. That was a name that we've talked about so many times. You thought AI and Qualcomm had a great sort of linear path together. Any thoughts on the financials, and then tell me about your thoughts on Qualcomm?
Yeah, still good. I mean, the main thing.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the fundamentals and the story, there are drivers to help Qualcomm to continue to go higher. Losing some Apple business, as you said, because they're going to be making some of their own, not necessarily particularly great. But this stock, which there were a lot of high hopes for this stock, you know what? It's the pits. I mean, really, I'll just say 1 year down 25%. And people were really on board with this name. Do you buy it now?
Yeah, I think, Qualcomm is.
The shareholders must be frustrated. Great to see you both, Olivier. I thank you for being with us. And Jay, since I still have another